Robert Eggers revealed some bombshell details about Count Orlock. Unlike typical vampires who are turned through a bite, Orlock became a vampire through dark sorcery. According to Eggers, Orlock deliberately transformed himself, making him one of the most powerful undead beings. His ties to the Scholomance, a legendary occult school hidden in the Carpathian Mountains, set him apart from ordinary vampires. With abilities like mind control, storm summoning, and even dragon riding, Orlock is a force unlike any other. Stay with us as we dive deep into his terrifying origins. Please watch the video until the end to support the channel. Unlike most vampires, Orlock was not created through the bite of another undead creature. Instead, he attained his immortality through forbidden knowledge acquired at the Scholomance, an ancient school where the devil himself was said to teach the dark arts. In folklore, the Scholomance is said to take 13 students per class, but only 10 graduate, while the devil claims one as payment. So what happens to the other 3 pupils, you ask? In darker versions of the legend, not all students survive the training. Some may die due to the extreme conditions, magical rituals, or harsh teachings of the devil. Others might lose their sanity, unable to handle the forbidden knowledge. Orlock, however, was one of the few who survived, making a pact that stripped him of his humanity in exchange for mastery over the supernatural. As a result, Orlock did not suffer the mindless hunger and degeneration seen in typical revenant vampires. Instead, he retained his intelligence, strategic cunning, and an insatiable drive for domination. His magic-infused vampirism granted him a near-limitless lifespan and an array of abilities beyond those of any other undead being. One of Orlock's most terrifying abilities is his power over nature, particularly storms. As a Scholomance, Orlock possesses the ability to summon and control storms at will. This skill allows him to bring about fierce tempests, torrential rain, and violent winds that can devastate entire villages. In Nosferatu 2024, this is subtly hinted at in scenes where his presence is accompanied by unnatural weather patterns. When Orlock travels by sea, for instance, the ship is engulfed in an unnatural storm, mirroring the Scholomance legend of dark sorcerers who could control the elements. These storms not only serve as an intimidation tool, but also aid in his strategic movements, making him nearly impossible to track or pursue. A lesser-known aspect of Orlock's supernatural nature ties him to the dragon-riding sorcerers of Romanian legend. In folklore, the most powerful members of the Scholomance were said to have the ability to tame and ride dragons. The idea that Orlock is a dragon rider aligns with his Scholomance origins. Some legends claim that those who mastered the school's teachings could summon dragons as their servants, using them to spread fear and exert dominance over mortals. While Orlock is not depicted with a dragon, the implications of his connection to this ancient lore suggest that he is more than just a vampire. He is a sorcerer with control over creatures that even other supernatural beings fear. Because Orlock was not turned into a vampire in the traditional sense, he is resistant to many of the weaknesses associated with typical undead creatures. While most vampires can be killed with a simple wooden stake through the heart, Orlock's body is reinforced by dark magic, making such methods ineffective. This was hinted at in the new Nosferatu, when attempts to stake him were unsuccessful. Additionally, unlike common vampires who are harmed by religious symbols, Orlock does not recoil at the sight of crosses. His transformation into a vampire was not a result of a curse, but rather a choice, an exchange of his soul for power. Because of this, garlic or holy water seem to have no effect on him. One of Orlock's most fearsome abilities is his power of psychic domination. Unlike ordinary vampires, who rely on seduction or brute force, Orlock can control minds with little effort. His victims often fall into a trance-like state, unable to resist his influence. This ability extends beyond individuals. Entire communities can fall under his control without realizing it, as he subtly bends their will to suit his needs. In Nosferatu 2024, Orlock's psychic power is demonstrated through his eerie interactions with Ellen, the film's protagonist. Even before she physically encounters him, she is already experiencing his influence, drawn toward him as if under a supernatural compulsion. This psychological aspect of his power makes him even more terrifying, as he doesn't need to physically overpower his victims. He simply makes them submit willingly. Another factor that sets Orlock apart is his ability to speak Dacian, an ancient and nearly extinct language. This choice, made by director Robert Eggers, adds to Orlock's sense of being something truly ancient and unknowable. Dacian is one of the lost languages of Europe, predating even Latin, and its use in the film suggests that Orlock may be far older than he appears, perhaps even predating recorded history. This mastery of an ancient tongue is not merely a stylistic choice, but a reflection of his deep-rooted connection to forgotten pre-Christian magics. It reinforces the idea that Orlock is not just a vampire, but a remnant of something far older and darker than the modern world can comprehend. Unlike other cinematic vampires, Orlock is not merely a bloodthirsty creature of the night. He is a sorcerer who has transcended human limitations through sheer force of will. His presence in Nosferatu shows us what happens when a mortal being dares to master the forbidden arts, achieving a terrifying existence beyond life and death. So what do you make of the revelation that Orlock is a self-made vampire? Please leave a comment below. Also, check out the I'm Fine t-shirt in our store, the perfect gift for sci-fi fans. Until next time, stay frosty and alert.